So Don Lemon is out here acting like storming a church is some kind of First Amendment freedom of speech moment. But let's slow down and list the potential constitutional, civil rights, and criminal violations that can come into play when a mob pushes into a worship service and intentionally disrupts it. Because the First Amendment doesn't mean that I can go anywhere I want and shut down your whole event. Let's start with number one: interference with the free exercise of religion. The people of that church have a constitutional right to worship without being targeted, disrupted, or intimidated. That is the very core of religious liberty. Number two: federal civil rights protections for places of worship. And this is where it gets serious, because the DOJ is reportedly looking at using multiple federal civil rights statutes. One of them is the KKK Act. Yes, there is actually something called the Ku Klux Klan Act. That law was written to stop groups from conspiring to intimidate or deprive people of their civil rights, including the right to peacefully assemble or practice religion. You don't need white robes for it to apply. Coordinated intimidation is enough. Another is the FACE Act. Most people think that it applies to abortion clinics, but legally it covers using force, threats, or obstruction to interfere with federally protected rights. And that includes religious exercise when access is intentionally blocked or disrupted. And then there's the FORCE Act, which focuses on using force or coercion to interfere with someone's civil rights. This includes when people are forcing themselves into a service surrounding worshipers and forcing it to shut down. Now, with potential civil rights violations out of the way, we move on to criminal violations. One of them being trespass and unlawful remaining. A church is a private property. If you enter without permission or you refuse to leave when asked, you can be charged with trespassing. Another is disorderly conduct and disrupting a lawful assembly. A church service is a lawful assembly. Intentionally disrupting it with shouting, chanting, or chaos crosses a legal line. And lastly, harassment or intimidation. If congregants were screamed at, blocked, surrounded, or made feel unsafe, kind of like this guy did, that can escalate from disorderly conduct to harassment and intimidation. And here's the key point about Don Lemon and anyone filming. Being media doesn't give you immunity. If someone is coordinating, encouraging, or participating in the disruption, that can raise legal questions. And that is why the DOJ is looking into this as a potential civil rights case. Full disclosure, I am no legal expert, and this in no way, shape, or form is legal advice. This is simply just what I came up with my own research. And based off of my own finding, Don Lemon's claims that this is their constitutionally protected First Amendment right is totally wrong.